As promised, I have got Peggy and Kip from The Pains of Being Pure at Heart in the Triple R studios for the very first time, and the first time in Australia. Welcome to Triple R in Australia.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Now, you've just got off the plane a couple of hours ago, enjoying the rock and roll lifestyle.
Yeah, I took a nap.
A rock and roll nap.
Yeah.
And you've been touring in Japan. How many dates did you do there?
We were there for 10 days. I think we played about six or so shows. It was totally amazing. Our first time in Japan.
Yep.
Getting to see Tokyo and all the cool stuff there.
The legends I've heard of performing in Japan are that the audiences are absolutely mad. Did you witness that?
We heard the opposite, actually.
You heard the opposite?
But the audiences were really enthusiastic, I thought.
Yeah, I think they confused us for a cool band.
Yeah.
I don't know how that worked, but it was really fun.
Maybe people were telling us the opposite so that we would not expect anything.
Yeah, it was totally mind-blowing.
We got a lot of gifts too.
A lot of fan art.
Yeah, we got some fan art.
So, did you have any idea that the reception in Japan was going to be like that?
No, I mean, going to Japan is about the furthest place where we can go to until we found out we were going to Australia.
Now, it's your first time in Australia, and you've already sold out your first show here at the East Brunswick Club tomorrow with Crayon Fields, and you got one more show Thursday the 18th. Did you have any idea? I noticed the first record came out through Lost and Lonesome Recordings, and Mark goes out and searches for a lot of overseas bands and brings them back here. And how did you come to meet those guys?
Well, I was a big fan of Mark's recently deceased band, the Glucksmiths. Mm-hmm. And Lost and Lonesome had worked with Slumberland Records, our US label, in the past on some releases for one of the bands I loved a lot, the Isler Set. So I think the combination of our appreciation for him musically and the stuff he'd done with the label before made us really psyched to work with him on this record.
Yeah, great. They did.
He's also a nice dude.
Yeah, really nice dude.
He did great work getting the word out in Australia, because I remember when that record landed, and there was a lot of anticipation for when you guys would finally get here. One thing I've noticed on the recordings is, as I guess it should be, a band's really found their production style. It's something that I've really noticed with your records. It's a cavernous kind of reverby sort of production, maybe a throwback to, some people might say, a wall of sound kind of thing. What sort of producers are you listening to when you put your records together? Where does that particular sound come from? Is it something you stumbled upon? Or?
It comes from the basement, mostly.
Yeah.
We recorded our album with just a couple friends of ours back in New York. They had a small setup in their basement, and we just went down and tracked this stuff. I think in terms of the production values, what you're hearing a lot of, though, is the mixing of Archie Moore. Archie Moore used to play in the band Black Tambourine, mm-hmm. and Velocity Girl, two really cool 90s guitar-driven American pop bands that we really admired a lot growing up. And to have him mixing our record was a huge honor and thrill, and he really was able to capture the sound that we admired, and he really knew the bands we were ripping off because he was in most of them. So can you make this sound more like Velocity Girl, Archie? Can I?
I wanted to ask you about the name. I was doing a bit of research, and I found that you guys took your name from a children's book. It actually says, Kip, that you wrote the book, but that apparently is a lie. And
it's
you're just
totally a lie. Those press
fabricating
releases are just trying to make us sound cooler than we really are.
So what, a friend of yours wrote a kid's book called The Pains of Being Pure at Heart?
Yeah, I used to live out west in Portland, Oregon, which is a cool city in the northwest United States. And I had a friend who wrote a children's book called The Pains of Being Pure at Heart. In addition to the title being really cool sounding, the moral of the story was the most important things in life are the adventures you have with your friends when you're young and traveling and going places, way more than power or political achievement or any of the trappings of traditional trappings of success. And I think that's pretty cool moral, since we were all friends way before we started the band, and we travel around in the van together, and it's kind of our life. So it worked out as more than just a cool name, but And some people think it's a totally lame name too, so it's okay.
Maybe you could look at putting some of the book into song.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
the next record.
Maybe something with a shorter title.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's...
Now, you've got these shows in Australia. Tomorrow night we're talking about at the East Brunswick Club with Crown Fields and Summer Cats. That's already sold out. And Thursday night at the East with the Small Goods and Parking Lot Experiments. Then you guys are off to Perth, Brisbane and Sydney. We were talking off mic, you've got a couple of shows in New Zealand and Auckland, then off to South by Southwest, and starting the next record. What can fans expect on the next record? You said you're thinking of a new sound, Kip?
Oh, no, I mean, I just think we will hopefully sound a little bit better. I mean, you know, it's hard to put that into words other than hopefully it'll sound a little bit better, but... you know, it's going to be fun putting into practice a lot of the lessons learned from our first record and a year of touring and all that we've gotten to experience and see. It'll be fun to like start the process over again and, you know, kind of realize that you don't need to record 87 guitar tracks to make the guitars sound loud.
Yeah. Maybe
Though
we have
helps.
we'll have new bands to rip off.
We'll have new bands to rip off.
Well,
Yeah.
you know, a year or so would have passed, so you know.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll start sounding like the XX. We'll change our name to the XXX. Dos Equis.
I don't know about Triple X. I don't know if that would...
I think that's easy to Google, though, right? That's
Sure.
There's not going to be any confusion with that one.
It might ostracise that children's book audience you've been working so hard to attain.
Darn.
Yeah, we don't want to make anybody feel alienated.
Yeah.
We're going to play another track. Thanks a lot for coming in, Kip and Peggy.
Oh, thank you, Sean.
This is from the self-titled record. This is Contender, but before we do go, I've got one double pass to give away to the sold-out show at the East that we were talking about tomorrow night with Summer Cats and Crayon Fields. That's tomorrow night at the East Brunswick Club. You'll need to be a RRR subscriber. The number's 93881027. Thanks again, Kip and Peggy.